So we are at Lochend, which is on the south shore of the Lake of Menteith.
This is my maternal grandmother and grandfather, Abel, who bought where we live now.
My grandma and grandpa on my mother's side bought the estate when, about over 50 years ago. And then my mother and father bought it from them, and they set up an industry to keep us here, and that was little self-catering chalets they started with. We now have 18 or 17 chalets and a large cottage which used to be stables. So the place is very slowly, very slowly grown and developed with us as a family, keeping us here and being able to work in this beautiful place, which of course has been recognised as a national park. I would be 8 when the chalet started at first. And because my brothers were a good bit older than me, and also I was the wee annoying girl, I spent quite a lot of time on my own. And the big oak tree was a real focal point. Oh, it's been a few years. Much more worn than it was when I last did it. Just one of those wonderful tactile things to, it was almost built like, indoor climbing walls are now, with this knob here and that bit sticking out there, and you could grab onto that bit. It was actually a great viewpoint. It was a great place to spot people and just see what was going on round about. So the chalets were being built over here, and there was quite a lot of sailing and activity in the water, and you can see everything from up here. It's a particularly good spot for spying. I think that's probably it. I was a nosy person. It's absolutely steeped in history, as most of Scotland is, of course, and why is it a lake and not a loch? It was a Dutch cartographer in the 17th century who drew the maps of this area, had on it lake, so 17th century typing error. And out in our bay, a sort of 150 metres out, we've got the base of a crannog. They think that they were probably mostly built on stone bases with a causeway, which very cleverly was built sort of about half a metre under the water. And so the path would go where their family knew, but not where everybody else knew. So they would follow their own path out and come to the crannog. This was when the cabins were built, so this would be maybe about 75, 76, and this is the cook school, as was. Nick had a restaurant at Breval, which is just outside Aberfoyle. They had a restaurant in Glasgow as well. He'd done television. He wanted to not be in the kitchen all the time, so he set up the cook school, and it's a fantastic facility. I mean, I haven't heard of anybody going to it that hasn't come away and said that was just amazing. So when Chris and I moved back here at first, he rediscovered a love that he had all his life for wood. My dad and Chris together bought a new lathe, and since he's had that in his possession, oh my goodness, he started producing wonderful, wonderful bowls, and from that sprung things like he made beautiful king-sized oak beds for the chalets this year, and he's made people tables, and some of our customers have commissioned pieces from him, mirrors and things like that. I used to live in Glasgow, and I worked as an actress for about 8 years after leaving the RSA MD. And in '94 I met my husband Chris, and we both decided it was time to get out of Glasgow, and we came back to Lochend to help rebuild some new chalets. Then our family came along really quickly. Bunty, Cooper and Pippin now live and actually help work at the chalets, and are often seen doing exactly the same sort of things that I did as a child. They row and they go out in the trees and they go fishing, and it's great to see them do the same things.
My favourite place in the national park is Lochend, because it's an ever-changing picture. It never, you just don't tire of it. It's very hard to ignore it because there is a lot of weather in Scotland and it does change all the time. The mist can come rolling in and you know that the rain's pretty close behind it. But also we have had we do get the most dramatic sunsets. Just slipping in behind the Menteith Hills there, and there are some times where the whole sky is blood red, and so it's just a fantastic place. And there's something about a jetty. Jetties give a great perspective to a picture. The way it is just now, with that mist sweeping across, you're sitting in the lowlands and looking out at the highlands. There's kind of nothing quite like it. It's a great place.